when you never forget who you are, and so you don't lose your humanity, that inner child, you stay open-hearted, you know that the path to yourself is not an else's journey. You're already your 3-year-old, so you stay a securely attached human being, differentiated self. That's a healed inner child. When you never forget who you are, the truth is what you always speak, but that's because, like Pacha tells Cusco, you have a heart and I have a heart. So you stay self-aware, and like a 3-year-old that gets taught to share the floor, you learn how to share with the self-awareness that allows self-reflection and emotional awareness, because we all have emotions. So as children, we get sad when we fight or mad, right? Okay, so the child-centric environment is super, super important for a person not disconnecting from their restorative embodiment, which is what we get to talk about. I'm attachment trauma informed, but today this one for now is going to be about women and empowerment. So yes, an empowered woman. We have no misanthropy, hatred, dislike, or distrust for humankind. We definitely don't have misandry, hatred for men or of men, or misogyny, women, or sexism. And we also are not misogamists. So a person who hates, avoids, or opposes marriage. But I am the woo-woo pseudoscience lady, and I'm a solo polyamory. So technically some people would think that I oppose marriage, which I don't. It's just I love more than one human being in a very special way, and that's where I'm a 5D mystic. So in the Enlightenment Soul Age group, which is very possible, but the people who think their emotions are laundry, they think that because they feel that because the weight of the world is on their inner child's shoulders, because the human being grown up didn't yet learn to harness their integration of the brain capacity to consistently use the prefrontal cortex as you explore emotions. When you're easily friends with your left and right mode, you're not in a dilemma. You're like, wow, my inner child, my 0-1-year-old attached panicky, my 3 to 7 shame submissive wants a hug. Who am I? I'm the grown-up who can hug me, and so I got to learn how it's okay to cry when kids don't want to play with you. You don't have to make it into a big deal. Many paths. So the many paths to being able to be in the Enlightenment Soul Age group, you don't have to go through suffering, but let's talk about the mind, because mindset is everything. Trauma memory is also everything. So people who are securely attached with a differentiated self, the reason they can speak a truth like a child, no filters, ever, not even one. Doesn't matter who comes to you and says, what you said, you shouldn't have said it. I'm sorry. I will think next time how to speak to you, because apparently I can't use words. And those are all adaptive children. They're going to come make a big deal or get pissy in their pants about what words you used. We do have standards, right? But that's where I learned about standards for when you're doing negotiation, when you're, publicly speaking, not when you're socializing. Like, how are you going to talk about different opinions? Every time you use one word, somebody's going to come argue with you about it. So when people know how to use words and to be interested in each other, that's when relationships grow. So women who are empowered, and we don't hide. Yes, we don't hide. When I was a teenager, I was considered quite annoying, which is okay, because I told all the kids at a certain point, once I was like, you know what? They're all not really making smart decisions. They definitely have no idea how to use that inner balance, and they seriously always are whining about something. Like, that boy left me, and you don't matter because, it's still the boy that I want. It's like, well, if they don't want you, why would you want them back? They're just not interested. Don't you know how to take, it's not rejection, it's not protection, it's not redirection. But I'm a 0-1-year-old, a 3 to 7-year-old that can actually soothe myself. Thanks, Mom, because even at my age of 4, kids didn't want to play with me. I went crying home, and I got told, you're different, you're serious, but it's okay. You'll find people that will like who you are as you are. So my mother told me, no, don't change who you are. Thank goodness. Oh, yes, I forgot. So did Jesus and God, or God, I should say. I was raised with Catholicism, Christianity, and I got taught you're made the way I want you to be made. And if you dare envy or jealous, any of that, no. And my lovely inner child, since I am a healed inner child, I never broke away from restorative embodiment, because I got lucky. My mother lovingly accepted me, and she also allowed me to be whiny, and all my basic human emotions were not suppressed. Fear a little bit, but it wasn't suppressed. It was more of, let me make you get out into the world, because it's not safe always, and you need to learn how to be able and be on your own, because I won't always be here. So I'm going to make sure that you can fly even if you're scared. And so yeah, I got to work through that sliver with fear. But other than that, all of the other emotions I got to completely, in fact, my 3-year-old tone still comes up with my mother and my twin. That's where trauma, it does not get deleted, but you can minimize it. And mindset, because of your thoughts, is something important. We're going to get to that in a minute. Okay, so remembrance, when you don't forget anything about who you are, from the stars to the earth to any belief system, but you go beyond it, you know how to wield authority, because you know how to be equanimous and unflappable, which is the way of beauty. So you know how to use your left mode to do inner growth, not to create a nightmarish story or make up BS about people, which is what we have people do when they don't know how to tell you the truth in your face. Yes, they don't know their inner child. Childhood trauma survivor, healed and healing, Patrick Tiahan. He's a good therapist. He's online. I love all of his shares because he makes it very much visible what projection looks like. So codependent type people, low self-esteem, indirect communicators, they're passive aggressive. They definitely don't know boundaries are about a conversation. No, they cancel, block each other, call each other names. They don't use words or know how to, have an actual emotional, mental conversation, like an in-depth debate. Yeah, no, they get into, let me prove it to you. You're not on a podium. I don't need you to prove it. We're having what is called a social engagement. But then again, I have self-empowerment and confidence, because healthy self-worth means I'm not superior in fear, and my thoughts and emotions count just as much as yours. Self-awareness, self-reflection, and also the ability to remember you have emotions, so do I. So when you project, I will make sure to say, I'm so sorry, but I will also know how to recalibrate. As an empowered woman, I've noticed many men and women, and I don't know any days personally, but I've noticed how the adaptive child will consistently bring to you the shopping list of every one of those demands. It's like, okay, you obviously don't know how to be a grown-up yet emotionally, and you're not aware about how your tone is working, and you're not aware because you don't have, in fact, bilateral integration. You have impaired bilateral integration, because every time your 0-1-year-old or 3-7-year-old comes up, you're projecting it, and that's the karma, that's the unconscious stuff. So when you learn that many paths to, by the way, those who are spiritual bypassers, yes, we'll get to that in the next episode, but being a human is straightforward. You learn to use your embodied brain or you don't. And here's where Patrick Tiahan, again, he shared this really great 1-minute short, and it was about how in every crisis, his therapist said, there is danger and opportunity. Yes, the dark sides of neuroplasticity are those people who they hide their truth. They don't speak in your face. And that's every avoidant attachment, man or woman, there may be out there. Every also ambivalent attachment, man or woman, or they may be out. Anyone with attachment wounds, disorganized included. And when they don't look at how they're treating another person, I actually know plenty of attachment wounded as well as adaptive children with their maladaptive child behavior who have made excuse after excuse after excuse. Humans, I hate them. I don't want to be around them. Men, I hate them. Women, I hate them. That's all you hear from the teenager land. So they're on Elsa's journey with the groups of people who are like, yeah, we're a group over here and they're horrible over there. And it's like, no. You had the opportunity to chit chat in a very different way. Jesus, God, thank you so much. So I learned how we're all different. And Mom, thank you. And my twin. And it's okay because I'm not perfect. No, I'm flawed and imperfect. That's why we're a herd. Together, we get over things if we talk. But most people, when they're in their mind, they don't actually end up in a better place unless they go and say, you know what, let me take a look at my reaction, at my response. Did I have an actual conversation? And we'll close out with Sadhguru. Being human means being capable of looking at every life from form with a sense of tenderness. I got confused. Every life form. But from the tenderness of you, that can only come if your inner child is healed, because that's where my 3-year-old will say, like Pacha does to Cusco, you have a heart like I do. Now, that you may not tend to mine, it's okay, because solo polyamory, I know how to be my own safe haven, secure base. I regulate my nervous system when I'm having a panic attack, and I don't have any shame about it or any bit like, oh, it has to be so hard. Some of us have a window of welcome to emotions. Join us. But what we also have is self-awareness, reflection, and the ability to say, you know what, I'm going to speak truth to your face, because that's the nice thing to do. And in time, the truth, by the way, always comes forth, which is why nobody's going to hide anything. And we're one big ball of energy. Tune in.